Okay, folks, good morning. Let's flip this around, do a little bit of a video here. Actually, I'm going to set this down for just 1 second. Let me take care of one thing. Okay, so this is what we were airbrushing last night. We took an old JS2 that was nearly done, but didn't look very good. We whitewashed it. We whitewashed this T70 and this T34 Model 41. And then we go ahead and brought other T34s in here that we have to put together. A couple of gas trucks, things that are in, I call these some duds. The T34s in here aren't really duds, but some of the other stuff's just kind of, I don't have anything to lose working on it, let's put it that way. So I don't know what of this I'm going to feel inspired to look through and work on this morning, but it's all out here. All right. Oh, there we go. I would have kept doing more whitewash vehicles that were Soviet if I had some of them ready to go. And I didn't. Come on. Okay. So let's take a look at what we got over here. We may come grab the epoxy in a moment. Let's just get it out of this working area. And sometimes you feel like working on figures, sometimes you feel like airbrushing, and sometimes you feel like building stuff. You know, it's good to keep a healthy mix of these things. But yesterday was the day I just felt like airbrushing. All right. We got some bloody dogs in here, that's for sure. You have a T34 hexagonal turret. Another T34 hexagonal turret. Both of those are Skytrax. Another T34 hexagonal turret, also Skytrax. Okay, so I have three of those. I don't know if I'm going to do all three of them in snow. I got lots of them not in snow, like freaking 9 or something like that. So maybe I should. These trucks are just terrible, and I'm going to have to build something underneath here out of like just balsa wood, probably balsa because it's thick, and just put it kind of in the middle here so that the wheels will attach to that, not just sitting on top of these things. That's kind of involved. I don't really want to get that involved with this, considering I got a hard stop in the morning. That's like a good weekend project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this off to the side, and we're going to work on the T70. This little T70 guy. This is a rescue. That's what I should call these things. They're not junks. They're rescues. You know, and if I keep doing this winter wash Russians, all the colors I need are here. So. Cute little thing. Heavy as all get out. I believe it's Skytrax. Which means it's a little bit smaller than my other one. My other T70s are Plastic Soldier Company, which are generally 1/72nd scale and large. They're oversized the heroic 1/72nd. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's just what they are. And the Skytrex tend to be 1/76. All right, is the back of it free? Excellent. And Mr. Noel, where art thou? And a good brush, one that's not too expensive. Like I have any expensive brushes. Here we go. This is the one we're looking for. Good morning, Jorge. Switzerland, right? That's gonna be weird. I'm like, why aren't you in Spain or Portugal? That's okay. I have a Spanish name, and I'm in America. But that's one of the things that, as a stupid American, one of the things that we don't understand, maybe some people here do, but I did not understand is, oh no, this is a good one. Oh no 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 no. It's the same as the other one. The other one just, it's been worn out for a little while. Not mistreated. It just, they fall apart. They get used. I'm gonna try to get by with this one as much as we can. As a stupid American, Guten Tag. Good morning, Tony. Sorry you missed you on the live sessions. Looking after 3 dogs this week. Better you than me. We have a pile. We have rescues that we're working on next. Okay, we have some rescues. We have a JS2 that I don't know if you ever saw me when I was working on this thing. It's been a while. It's extremely, but it's all BP cast stuff that's just, it's crappy. And we're gonna fix some of them up, and hopefully start delving into some snow stuff, like the standing snow, because I'm going to need to use it for gap filler. Not necessarily in this one or that one, but I got some really bad looking things that need some help. Switzerland, I have a Portuguese name because my mother was Portuguese. So that's funny how I picked up that it wasn't Spanish. Because Raposo, I mean, it could be a Spanish name, you know. But when you know, you know. I'm a lucky guesser. Anyways, what I was saying is as a stupid American, some of us just assume that we're the only melting pot. That's what's beaten into us. Not beaten into us, but growing up, that's one of the things that makes America America. And maybe that was the case way back when. But now I think everything's a melting pot. So I was watching some show in Spanish many years ago, and I know actors aren't real people. They're a bit different than you and I, luckily. And but you had all these actors that were on this Spanish show that didn't have Spanish last names, and I was really like, what? What's going on here? Because again, it's just one of those things that we just assume that America is the only melting pot. That that all other countries are very homogenized compared to us, and that just isn't the case. And I don't necessarily mean skin color. I mean last name wise. You know, like I don't expect somebody in Spain to have a German last name. Like, what are you doing here? You know. You look mixed sometimes with German. I only I only know Blitzkrieg German. That's German and German terms that are involved that I can use in a World War II war game. That's it. Blitzkrieg German. Let's get rid of this band-aid. I ended up pulling on a piece of skin and one of them bleeding things. Okay, good. Deutsche Army. I always found that term always just seems strange to me. Deutsche, just like the Dutch? No. Switzerland, the land of what's Switzerland of? Oh, these awesome tweezers. The land of these awesome tweezers. Where are they? They're these tweezers my dad gave me in like 1984. He had them much longer, and they're made in Switzerland. And they're, you can't buy those ever again. I mean, they're like $60 or something like that. I'm like, I'm not spending $60 on that. I mean, they're worth it, but that's an investment. The land of Toblerone and Ricola. Ricola. It's funny. The things other countries are known for, whether they choose to or not. A Danish guy that comes on here. So yeah, Denmark. Denmark's known for Legos and those cookies that come in a container in a metal tin. Royal Gdansk or whatever those things are called. I'm sure there are multiple things. Yes, Deutsch means yes, but I don't know what Ihre means. Und Ihre and one Panzer. Ihre, Ihre. Genau wie English and Sie Germanisch sprechen. You know English and you speak German. I'm guessing that's what it says. You live on the German border in Switzerland is divided into three parts. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I can't do 1939 German tanks. First of all, most of them are really ugly. Although I wouldn't mind doing a Panzer III, which is the one with the big rotor wheels that got nixed. The Panzer III-D, I think they used it only in Poland. Didn't build very many of them, maybe even less than 100. Oh, Marcus, I have something for you. I've already started the next deep dive, and no, I'm going to go back to North Africa, but I honestly got tired of painting all the British tanks like with no camouflage, um, or the ones with camouflage the same. So we'll go back to them. It's not like I dislike them or anything. I just need a little bit of a change of pace. But there's a book that I picked up on audiobook that I started reading, and I couldn't stand it. It's the one by Gerhard Rouse. It is Operations on the Eastern Front, or whatever the hell it's called. He was the commander of the 6th Panzer Division during Wintergewitter, which is my other deep dive. The rescue of at Stalingrad, the failed rescue at Stalingrad. And I have his book on audiobook, and it's just, it's really self-serving. I don't know if he's an unrepentant Nazi. I didn't get that far. But I know he's definitely one of these guys. if they would have just cloned me, we could have done anything, kind of guys. So it gets old listening to that. And but there's another book out there that's supposed to be better, and I also had it on audiobook, and it was on my to-do list. And I recognized this author's name. Like, this looks like a guy I've heard of before. Who is he? Who is he? Who is he? And then it dawned on me, he's written a bunch of books, like Osprey books, and his name is Horst Scheibert. He's not around anymore, but he was a tank commander in the 6th Panzer Division. He was a company level commander in the 6th Panzer Division on that drive. And he's written a bunch of Osprey books, and he did a lot for Schiffer Publications, which are a lot of photos that they're relatively older. They're older books, like from the 70s and 80s, and maybe even earlier than that. They have really pretty covers, and then the stuff on the inside is just a lot of photos, not a lot of text, if I remember correctly. I don't have any Schiffer Publications. I've just picked some up, like looking through them and gone, well, this isn't of a lot of value. Certainly not nowadays, when pictures are more common than not. But there is some of the Concord publications I was looking at over the weekend on the Russian tanks, and I was trying to figure out a different. There's pictures definitely in those publications you won't see on the internet unless somebody is literally lifted, like taken photographs of the. There are unique looking pictures. But anyways, the book that I have, the Squadron Signal book on the Grossdeutschland. You know which one I'm talking about. It has a full color cover on it with this Panzer Grenadier on it. He's one of the authors on that, or he may be the author of that. Anyway, so he's a prolific author, and he was also a company commander on this drive. And I had his book, which is called On to Stalingrad, on audiobook. And one of the things I've always wanted to do is, because I'm reading things that are very, how can I put this, anal, crunchy, uber detailed, is to listen to the book while I'm looking at the book. And his physical book, is available on Kindle for $3.99, and you can listen to your audiobook and read the pages. So at lunchtime yesterday, that's what I did. I got the book for $3.99, and there's maps in there that are really, 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 really good. Well, they could always be better. Maps could always be better. Like, okay, this is Yuri's house, and Dmitri lived at the other one, and it got torn down because it got hit by a Pac 40, and 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 Alexei's house is over there, and it got driven over through the. You could always have tactical drawings of inside of a village, right? You're not going to get that. Um, but it's got really good maps in there. So I started reading that, and I found out some really interesting information on the 6th Panzer Division, because that's what this is going for. This is the T-70 is for all those battles that really only happened in like a week, 2 weeks, something like that. That the Soviets actually successfully stopped the German advance. But anyhow, one of the things I came across and is a breakdown of. Oh, so anyway, so this Horst Scheibert guy is a company commander, and as far as I can tell, so I'm like, okay, well, what company did he have? Was it the first, second, seventh? Did he have Panzer IV? So we know he's in the fourth or the eighth, and that one did have that configuration, because I got a count on how many vehicles were in it. Where is it? And the 6th Panzer, at least when it started off, because it was refitting in Normandy, in Brittany, sorry. Because remember, this one got sent to Russia. It had the Czech 35s in it, and encountered the KV-1 that blocked the road for a week. Got trashed. None of the Czech 35s made it in 1942. It got pulled out of line and refitted. So it gets refitted with the latest stuff in Brittany. 21 Panzer IIs, 73 Panzer III longs, which are probably mostly L's, if I had to guess. 37 Panzer III Kurzes, which most of those are probably going to be J's, I would imagine. J's, maybe an N or two. 24 Panzer IV longs. So all the Panzer IVs it has are all longs. They're probably F2s, probably mostly Gs, and 7 and 9 command tanks. Doesn't tell you what that is. So just doing the math, 24 divided by 2, that's 12 in each one of the battalions. So that's 4, 4, and 4 for each one. So I have a feeling that the tank numbers. See, this is the kind of shit I love to do. This kind of crap. I love this Sherlock Holmes, Schwerpunkt Holmes, trying to figure out this shit. If I'm doing this, because I'm going to paint some tanks for this. One company is going to be, the 4, 4, 4. The other one's going to be 8, 8, 8. I know which one you'd want to do. With these 12 vehicles, you're going to have an 8, 1, 1 through 1, 4. So 8, 1, 2, 8, 1, 3, 8, 1, 4. This one's going to be 8, 2, 1, 8, 2, 3, 8, 2, 8, 2, 4. This one's going to be 8, 3, 1, 8, 3, 2, 8, 3, 4. Very hard to find information on pictures of these vehicles. And this one's going to be 4, 1, 1 to 1, 4. This is going to be 4, 1, 2 to 1, 2, 4, 2, 1 to 2, 4. This is going to be 4, 3, 1 to 3, 4. Okay, so these are all going to be Panzer IV. We'll call them Gs. And then 32 divided by 6. So the rest of the companies are all going to be, they're going to have some Panzer IIs in them, usually a recon or two. And then if they're 4 tank companies, probably something along the lines of 3 longs and 1 short Panzer III kind of thing. Anyway, some kind of variety. So what's interesting about it is Scheibert, and I haven't, and this, it may describe this later on in the book, and that's what I'm going to be reading now. I've stopped my other reading to do this one. He was one of the 8 company commanders. It said in there, he was one of the 8 company commanders. I'm like, oh, well, now I know that it's got 8 companies, right? But I don't know what company he is. Odds are he was a company commander in a Panzer III, probably in a Panzer III long, just running the odds, but he may be one of the Panzer IV commanders. I don't know. Hopefully it talks about that in the book. But I have a Panzer IIIL, the Revell one. It's a beautiful model. Built, ready to go. So we're probably going to snow this one up. You've been warned. So, so I was doing that crunching. That's the kind of shit that I like to do. And I can't find hardly any pictures on, whether you use the big numbers, whether you use the little ones, I can't find. I found one really good picture of a Panzer IIIL that looks like it's crossing a bridge. Commander's got his head popped out of the hatch, looking a bit scruffy, but no turret markings on it. So, let me go back here. Oh, all right, let's see here. Talk to me, Goose. You love the U.S. Air Force fighter jets and the female pilots. I don't know. Isn't it Chechnya or whatever, where all the pretty girls are at? All those pretty pilots or whatever. Interesting, Tony. Info that period Eastern Front also lead up to Stalingrad. Hello, Marcus. I have a German name. You also make complete models of tanks on city streets. Soldiers, rest of troops. Cossack American mix, Jorge, mostly Scots, Irish, English, also German, Polish. Have you discovered the Loch Ness Monster yet? Tony, one of the extra sprues I have waiting for you when you want are winter Romanians from Strelitz, fueling the fire. Just saying. Yeah. Slow down. Yeah, I love looking on stuff on the internet. So, um, anyways, I'll do a couple of vehicles for this. Really hard to find information on the Soviets. All the thing you can find out about the Soviets is the 235th Tank Brigade, which ended up turning into a tank brigade somewhere else. They apparently threw a lot of tanks at this. And there's a third mechanized, the fourth mechanized corps that did eventually stop them. So we're going to have T-34s, some T-70s. I read somewhere that it was a fair amount of T-70s. There was a part of the tank brigade build in 42 where about half of the tanks were T-70s in these tank brigades. I don't know if that was exactly the case in these in particular, but you know. So you know how people you go on there and they're always like they're switching scales, or you go on a painting Panzer's thing and he's always doing something different every week. He's doing Burma, or he's doing U.S. Uh, British Airborne and 28 millimeter. He's always doing different kind of things. Uh, I'm going to do some of that, but I'm not going to do different skills. It's still World War II. It's still 20 mil. We're just going to be. I feel like doing some Americans, so we'll do some Americans kind of stuff. And like I said a couple days ago, and I need to remember, as long as you're working on something and moving the ball forward, doesn't matter if you're playing a bunch of different games, as long as you're making progress. So, um, we're going to be working on some rescues, but I didn't want to stop that until all the T-34s are done, which they all got sprayed yesterday, and they're flat as hell. They're flat as fuck. Um, and the Panzer 38s too. So Panzer 38s and all the T-34s and the Su-85. So in this Horst Scheibert book, if you look at it on Kindle, it's part of, I don't know what it is. It's like a part of a collection of German, and I wish there was stuff like on this level for the Russians, but there just isn't, or I haven't been able to find it. I really don't like the idea that the source being only from one side. Um, but anyhow, it's like a German military set or something like that. And there's another. So I'm like, okay, well, what other books are in this series? There's a book. There's a German like tactical account from the Coruscant Pocket. So if I really like this, that's probably going to get that one at some point as well. I don't think there's an audio book for it though, so that makes it a little bit harder for me to digest, since when I'm reading, I can't be driving. I can't be, when I'm physically reading a book, I can't be driving, even though I've seen people read a book going down the damn road, or working on the hobby or anything like that. So it takes a little longer to digest, but and then we got to make winter terrain. Well, that's easy. You start off with a white sheet, or maybe with a brown sheet. I'm sure I'll be able to figure out. So I may not have perfect information, but I probably have better information than a lot of people that run those kind of games. We want to get to the truth. The truth is interesting. I'm sure I can wait to do a Panzer 3G until Ron comes out with one. With Osketten. Yeah, but Rouse's book is intolerable. I didn't like it at all. You start reading stuff like that, and you're like, yeah, this guy is totally whitewashing everything. And I don't mean from war crime standpoint. I mean just like I'm the best. I'm God's gift to everything. It gets a bit old, a bit self-serving. You start wondering like that, like, if this is so full of misinformation, why am I even reading this? Like, I don't listen to the news because the news is all full of misinformation. I don't give a shit who you're getting it from. It's full of like, you know, well, we're going to tell you about this, but we're not going to tell you about that. And it's just like, okay, I'm not going to waste my time on that. All right, let's put the little turret here. I used to like white metal vehicles, and I don't like them very much anymore. They're so heavy they can damage themselves if something happens. I think that's a piece of flash. No, I'm leaving it on there now. It's too late. I did remember to take a picture of this, but it's a screenshot from the video of the airbrushing that I did yesterday. But this is one of the vehicles that I got for free. Put it this way: it's like, hey, $20 for the whole bag, and it was different things in there, and there wasn't anything wrong with this other than it was painted. It should have been painted better. Let's put it that way. So there is a T70 that I've seen a picture of that has really big red numbers on the side of the turret. So that's what we're going to go for. Yeah, those Romanian figures look pretty cool, actually. But even if I had them, I probably wouldn't get to them for 5 years easily. I got some other. I just haven't been in the painting figures mode. That doesn't mean I don't like painting figures. As a matter of fact, I think I like painting figures more than vehicles. The problem is, it's a lot of effort and you just get one figure out of it. I like painting figures more than vehicles because I can do faces. I'm really happy with the way my faces turn out. I like vehicles because I like doing the hand painting markings. And I think this was a small enough of a challenge that I should be able to knock out all of it this morning. Well, Never mind. It's almost salt mine 30. Yeah, just that little bit makes a big difference. All right, let's rinse this off. I like both. My least favorite is probably terrain, but it's getting into that, especially with these 3D prints. I haven't done a lot of terrain, but all the terrain stuff, like the buildings, man. The buildings. I'm like, I don't know how these buildings are going to turn out. To and I've resisted buying some Russian houses, just so you know. I found actually a good deal on Amazon for a couple of the Pegasus houses, but they got issues with them. Like, okay, it's got a chimney through the middle and it has a removable roof, but in the middle there's no chimney hole. Like, okay, so now I got to build this facade. I'm like, all right, I'm already going down a rabbit hole and I haven't even bought it. Like, okay, that was a fun adventure. I'm more likely to buy 3D printed stuff already, than build my own. But honestly, Russian houses need to be in really bad shape because anything I'm going to fight over has already been trashed. All right. You change that picture. That doesn't even look good anymore. I've advanced past that thing so many times. The T70. I can't see. Light. I have an illuminated keyboard, but my light is so good in here that it blows it away. Yeah, big numbers like that, but they were even bigger than that. Is it this? I like this 38. It's nice and simple. That's what we'll do. I like that 3. It's quite artsy. An artsy 3. All right, we're going to need to get our good brush for this. We got some more down here. Some of them don't even have numbers. No, we can't do that. Yeah. Go down a rabbit hole looking at things that. Here's one with some writing on that. I don't want to do writing on that small. And honestly, the red doesn't. The red on this whitewash doesn't stand out as well as white on green. That's a 122. I almost picked one of those up yesterday, but they come with closed hatches. Like, what's wrong with you? Struts, Russian Civil War figures are 25 mil at the top of their heads. Well, that's about the same size because remember, 20 mil is supposed to be that 20 mil size or whatever. It's supposed to go to their eye level. All right, where's that 38 here? Oh, come on, that was really cute. This is a T40. Isn't that a cute little bastard? Oh, at the very top. Oh, moron. Okay. Yeah. Doesn't have to be exactly the same way, but let's get some red out here and some black. And this is just a junk tank. Like here's this in this bag, and it was in this bag. I'm like, a rescue. I'm gonna rescue all those gas trucks too, I think. But I'm gonna need some standing snow to cover up some of that. Some of the bullshit. There's some of that. There's some of that bullshit in there. I gotta work with. That's what we say all the time. That's a bunch of bullshit. Let's do the 3 first. A couple days closer to the World War II event this weekend. Looking forward to it. Let me not get too excited. I'll have a flat tire on the way or something like that. We'll get filming it. You guys will miss out too. Watching a bunch of dogs. Yeah, better you than me. That doesn't sound like a good idea for. Then my house will end up smelling like dog too. You know, when you don't smoke, when you don't have pets, you're really. When you don't cook stinky food, you really tend to notice those smells when they're around, and all of a sudden. I know it's backwards. Build the 8 up as a loop, which I don't even, when I make 8s, I don't usually make them like that. I make them as 2 circles. Yeah, I like that. Let's flip to the other side, and we got to do the 8 first. You want to start off with, you want to start off next to the item that has the hard stop. We have the bottom of the 3, kind of like there's a Habsburg chin, sticks way out there. I turn this little light. It's just giving me too much kickback. I can't look at anything. Yeah, this great brush already needs a trim. We got a hanging Chad here. Don't speak to me or my Tovarich ever again. What the hell's a Tovarich? Strelitz, Russian Civil War, and Tumbling Dice RCW compared to that Ford AC. Time to get to the chef duty. Dogs and daughter today. Have a good day today. You're on dogs and daughter. Hopefully the daughter's better behaved. What kind of dog you got, Ben? I know you're always dog walking. I wouldn't make a good dog owner. Because I don't want to pick up a dog's poop. So I'd have to go walk them somewhere that, it would be perfectly fine pooping wherever they are. So you'd have to be somewhere remote. All right, there's the numeration of that. Red 38. That's how we're going to refer to it as. T70 Red 38. Actually, the chip would say Red 38, Red 38 T70 driver, or what have you. I think this is a 3-man tank. commander slash gunner, loader, and then driver. All right, we got some time for some rustification. My favorite one of these colors is definitely the one that's the most orange. I mean, I don't want to use it exclusively. I want to mix and match, but it just adds a nice color that you wouldn't normally see otherwise. Nothing crazy, nothing too bright, just some subtlety there. Actually, I never did take a close look without my glasses of the T-34s after I've sealed them, because when you add these glossy colors, they're glossy. So your eye just, yeah, it looks a bit different. Not worse different, just different different. It's not glossy. I don't know that I'm going to do any vehicles more white than that. And the German one, same thing. I still want to see the undercolor. You know, it's water-based paint. Assuming they use paint, because sometimes they use things that weren't paint. So as soon as you start getting some of that snow that thaws on it, it's going to change color. It's a great basic little model here. Miniature. What the minimum number of pieces to something to be considered a model is. The turret, we just paint the turret on here. Now, one thing that we need to do before we stop, and it's probably one of these brushes right here. As a matter of fact, it's probably this one. You can use this larger one. Let's mix up a batch of the base color. Oh, shit, we're doing this wrong. It's a good looking little tank. Good looking little tank. We still got the muffler paint on there. So we'll do a progress update on Facebook here with this thing. We'll shoot it from the side without the muffler on it. Nearly done. All right, folks, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you guys on the next one. Enjoy your Thursday. Bye-bye.